July 9th, 2021. It's been a very busy day. So we're going to do an update on what's going on in Haiti. And then, also we'll talk about, on Roland Martin Unfiltered today. One of the things that we covered was the meeting that took place yesterday with, legacy civil rights leaders and the, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. And Roland spoke with two people who were actually in the room. Okay, he spoke with two people who were actually in the room in yesterday's meeting. Okay, Janetta B. Cole and Melanie Campbell. So I'm going to share an excerpt of that interview. And then we discussed it as well, okay, on the panel. So we'll talk some about that. And then I want to, we'll do an update on what's going on in Haiti. We see a new wave of arrests and assassination of President Jovenel Moise. Also early in the day, the story came out. There have been numerous updates throughout the day. I've been following it. There was stories that came out earlier that the Haitian officials say they have asked the U.S. forces to stabilize the country. And we'll talk some about that. Two arrested Americans claim they were just translators in the assassination plot. A Haitian judge says. Colombia confirms that 13 of its former soldiers are among the assassination suspects in Haiti. Two arrested Americans claim Haiti calls on the U.S. to impose sanctions on those involved in the killing. The president's chief bodyguards, President Moese, his chief bodyguards will be called in for questioning next week. So there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. So we're going to give you an update on what's going on there. New York Times has some really good updates on this story. There was a piece from Reuters. There was an article from Reuters I was looking at a couple hours ago. This deals with U.S. rebuffs Haiti troops request after president's assassination. So there's so many moving parts here. On yesterday's show, we were joined by Abiomi Ezekwe, who's the editor of the Pan-African Newswire. And we did an hour dealing with what's going on in Haiti and the history of Haiti and things like this, and U.S. involvement in Haiti and the history of the French, et cetera. So be sure to go back and watch the show from Thursday, July 8th. And all these shows are podcasted, archived at the African History Network on Facebook, the African History Network, and my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep. All right. And then also a feel-good story. Everybody is talking about the 14-year-old cessation Zaila Avant-garde, who won the Scripps Spelling Bee, Scripps National Spelling Bee. She's the first African-American champion. She's 14 years old, but she holds 3 Guinness Book of World Records for dribbling multiple basketballs at the same time. She is a phenom. This sister is bad. All right. This is the epitome of black girl magic. So we're going to talk some about her as well. And I'm going to share an interview that she did on CBS this morning, today also. Now, on the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it corrects wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man or woman's thoughts, you can control the covers of his or her actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Now, we deal with a number of different topics here on the African History Network show. We deal with current events and history and politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, Kemet, the 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, Kemet, the 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter, or visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. My new online course that started up Sunday, July 4th. We have class number 2 on Sunday, July 11th, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. This is a 10-week online course that I teach. We deal with thousands of years of history and what led up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. So we'll talk some more about that as well. I want to jump into the story dealing with an update on what's going on in Haiti. Okay, so we're going to go to clip 1 here, Ed. This is dealing with we'll go to clip 1 here in just a second. We're going to look at the live updates here from the New York Times for just a minute. I've also been monitoring Reuters, as well as been monitoring Reuters and also Miami Herald as well. So if we look here quickly at the updates from New York Times, we see that Colombia says 13 of its ex-soldiers are among suspects in the assassination of Jovenel Moise. Haitian officials took the extraordinary step of requesting that the United States send in troops to protect the country's infrastructure. Fears grew that the fragile country may descend further into turmoil. So there's a crisis going on right now in Haiti. Colombia confirms that 13 of its former soldiers are among the assassination suspects in Haiti. A clearer picture of the group that Haiti accuses of assassinating President Jovenel Moise emerged on Friday as officials in the Colombian Defense Ministry identified 13 suspects by name and said all were former members of the Colombian military. 2 had been killed, the official said, and the other 11 were in custody. And they said some had traveled to Haiti as early as May. Some had traveled to Haiti as early as May. In the past, former members of the Colombian military, which receives heavy financial support and training from the U.S. Military, have acted as hired guns following their service. Colombians are attractive to those looking for military help because they often have years of experience fighting left-wing guerrillas and drug traffickers inside their own country and are often trained by U.S. experts. Okay, I want to go quickly here to clip number 1. This is from NBC Nightly News. New wave of arrest and assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moise. Let's go to this clip.
Haitian authorities now say at least 28 suspects were involved in the assassination of the country's president, lining them up for the world to see behind a table displaying firearms, machetes, and Colombian passports. Haitian police say 17 men have been arrested, including 15 Colombians and 2 Haitian Americans. 3 suspects died in a gun battle, and 8 others are still on the run. Haitian government officials identified the U.S. citizens to NBC News as James Salages and Joseph Vincent. The New York Times, citing a Haitian judge involved in the investigation, reports that the 2 Americans were working as translators and said they were not in the room when President Jovenel Moise was killed. With the country in turmoil, the U.S. is sending FBI and Homeland Security officials to help investigate. Some protesters don't believe the government's account and are skeptical that a supposedly professional group of killers could carry this out, but be caught so quickly.
Haiti is in a state of shock.
Laurent Lamotte is a former prime minister of Haiti. Could an assassination like this have been carried out without some inside help?
A lot of people are not understanding some of the ease of access to the president's house and the breakdown of security. There's been a complete security breakdown in the president's security detail.
The former prime minister says Haiti's first lady was shot 3 times. Tonight, she's still in critical condition at a Miami hospital, Peter.
All right, pause it right there. All right, we're coming up here on a break. We're going to continue this on the other side of the break. Then we'll talk about the meeting that Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris had with veteran civil rights leaders, including Reverend Al Sharpton, who you can hear Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation WFDF, keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton. And we'll also talk about Zaila Avant-garde, the first African-American winner of the Scripps National Spelling Bee competition. You listen to the African History Network show right here on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes.
910, the Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio. The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media.
Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 9:10 a.m. Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Friday, July 9th, 2021, and we are live. The call-in number is 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. Right before the break, I was doing an update on what's going on in Haiti, the turmoil there, in the political crisis after the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moise. We're going to go back to the updates here from, I want to go back and look at the updates here from the New York Times. Just give me a second here to flip back over. Okay. So we see that the Colombia confirms that 13 of its former soldiers are among the assassination suspects in Haiti. And let me flip back over here on the screen share. Now, Colombian officials condemned the attack and said they were doing everything possible to assist the Haitian government in its search for the truth. On Friday, July 9th, Colombia's Defense Department said that the president had asked several top Colombian intelligence officials to travel to Haiti to assist with the investigation, including the head of the National Intelligence Office, the head of the Police Intelligence Office, and an offer from the Interpol Central Office in Colombia. Now, I want to also go to the next story here. Haitian officials say they have asked for U.S. forces to stabilize the country. Okay, now this was a story that came out earlier today, and the New York Times reported on this. But the U.S. is basically rebuffing that request. Haitian government officials took the extraordinary step of requesting that the United States send troops to protect Haiti's port, airport, gasoline reserves, and other key infrastructure as the country has descended into turmoil in the wake of the brazen assassination of President Jovenel Moise early Wednesday morning. Okay, Wednesday, July 7th. Now, Haiti has a history of unwanted American military interventions, but fears have been growing that unrest in the streets and political turmoil after the attack could worsen what is already the country's worst crisis in years. Haiti is plagued by political intrigue, gang violence, a public health crisis driven by the coronavirus pandemic, and difficulties delivering essential international aid. The Haitian Minister of Elections, Matthias Pierre, said the request was made because President Joe Biden and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken had promised to help Haiti. Now, Jen Psaki, White House press secretary, today said the United States would send FBI and Homeland Security officials to Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, quote unquote, as soon as possible. But a senior Biden administration official said there was no plans to provide U.S. military assistance at this time. OK, a senior Biden administration official said there were no plans to provide U.S. military assistance at this time. Now, Haitian authorities have said the assassination involved foreign forces, and the police have identified more than 24 people involved in the assassination of President Moise, including 18 Colombians and 2 Americans of Haitian descent who have been arrested. 5 others are still on the run. Now, Colombia's president asked several of the country's top intelligence officials and an officer from Interpol's central office in Colombia to travel to Haiti to assist with the investigation, Colombia's Defense Department said on Friday. Now, Matthias Pierre, the Haitian Minister of Elections, said the country had already been facing a large problem with, quote unquote, urban terrorists who might use the opportunity to attack key infrastructure in the country while the police are focused on their manhunt. He said the group that financed the mercenaries want to create chaos in the country. Attacking the gas reserves and airport might be part of the plan. Okay, now, the next story here, let's see. Okay, I'm looking at the updates here. Okay, I think I got, let me see, did I get all the updates that I wanted? Okay, yeah, I got all the updates that I wanted for now. Okay, we'll continue this, our discussion of this coverage on Sunday. On our Sunday show, we have 2 hours on our Sunday show. And let me see if we can, I want to pull up the article from Reuters as well quickly here. And once again, the calling number is 313-778-7600. It's the calling number if you have a quick question or comment. Reuters reported today, and I posted this on my personal page. We'll share it on my Facebook fan page, the African History Network also. Reuters has a story. U.S. rebuffs Haiti troops' request after president's assassination. Now, when I had Abayomi Ezekwe on, who's the editor of the Pan-African News Wire, and a lot of people have been watching that interview, and we have it re-airing on our Facebook, on our social media platforms. So be sure to follow me on my Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, Imhotep, because I rebroadcast these shows throughout the day. The United States on Friday rebuffed Haiti's request for troops to help secure key infrastructure after the assassination of President Jovenel Moise by suspected foreign mercenaries, even as it pledged to help with investigation, even as the U.S. pledged to help with the investigation. Okay. Now, the killing of President Moise by a squad of gunmen in the early hours on Wednesday, July 7th, around 1 a.m. At his home in Port-au-Prince, pitched Haiti deeper into a political crisis, which may worsen growing hunger, gang violence, and a COVID-19 breakout. Let's see here. Okay. Read the rest of this article here, also from Reuters. Okay, Reuters.com. U.S. rebuffs Haiti troops' request after president's assassination. And when I spoke with Abayomi Ezekwe yesterday, we talked about U.S. intervention in the past and U.S. occupying Haiti from 1915 to 1934. And U.S. intervention in the past with John Bertrand Aristide et cetera, in this history. Okay. So, we're going to have Abayomi Ezekwe back to talk about these further developments as well. Okay, I want to go to this next story here. So, you probably saw a press conference that took place on Thursday, July 8th, with civil rights leaders, Reverend Al Sharpton, Mark Muriel of the National Urban League, Reverend Al Sharpton of the National Action Network, Sherilyn Eiffel, NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Melanie Campbell. Ed, we're going to go to clip number 2, Ed. Melanie Campbell, with Black Women's Roundtable, Janetta B. Cole, National Chair of Negro Council of Women, etc. They met with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris to mainly discuss the need to preserve voting rights, to pass H.R. 1, to pass the For the People Act, and to blunt what's taking place in these state legislatures with the passing of SB 202, et cetera, things like this in Georgia. Okay. And unlike a lot of discussions that take place, so I was on the panel of Roland Martin Unfiltered. For those that don't know today, I'm usually a panelist every Friday. Unlike a lot of discussions that take place, Roland actually interviewed today 2 of the people that were actually in the room. Because you have a lot of these conversations that take place in social media and people are running their mouths and they're not talking to anybody who's actually in the room. Okay. So I'm going to share an excerpt. It was a longer interview, but I'm going to share an excerpt of that interview. And then Roland came to me for me to comment on the interview and what took place. But just very briefly, on Thursday, President Joe Biden, and I'm looking at the reporting from blackamericaweb.com. Also, we have reporting here from Reuters.com as well. On Thursday, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris sat down with the leaders from the NAACP, National Coalition of Black Civic Participation, National Council of Negro Women, the Leadership Council for Civil and Human Rights, the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under the Law, NAACP Legal Defense Fund, National Urban League, and National Action Network. The group also reportedly discussed the importance of police reform. That's something else they talked about, passing the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Police reform across the country amid the killings of Black community members at the hands of law enforcement. Okay. So that was something else that was discussed as well. Now, in our meeting with Biden and with the Biden administration, we expressed an urgent need for legislation that provides equitable access to the ballot box and offered strategies for mobilizing locally and nationally to ensure democracy works for all, NAACP President Derrick Johnson said in a statement. Okay, what we're going to do here, I'm going to go to this excerpt here from Roland Martin Unfiltered. Okay, and you all should be able to hear me on Facebook. Okay, I'm going to go to this clip here from Roland Martin Unfiltered. He's speaking with Janetta B. Cole, National Chair of the National Council of Negro Women, and Melanie B. Campbell of the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation. Let's go to this clip, Ed.
You know, historically, it will hurt them, but unfortunately, it will hurt us more.
But the issue here, Dr. Cole, is simple. There are 2 senators who've made it clear that they are not going to end the filibuster. And so the question is pressure, is it going to be targeting Sinema and Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema of Arizona, Joe Manchin of West Virginia? I mean, the arguments that Melanie laid out, we have heard, numerous people have said it. The reality is this here. There are 2 Democratic senators who are refusing to end the filibuster. That's why the For the People Act, the Voting Rights Act, has not been passed. All of that hoopla about Joe Manchin having a Voting Rights Act compromise. That died when they couldn't break the filibuster. He keeps hollering bipartisanship. She keeps saying bipartisanship. They can't find 10 Republicans. So, all right, what now?
You're so right. Let's just use simple arithmetic. We don't even have to call it mathematics. We need every Democrat, I mean every, to stand up and speak out and vote in the interest of the people. We know that historically, this filibuster has been used to stop issues being passed, acts being passed that are in the interest of the people. And so I'm not going to sit here, Brother Professor Rowland, and act as if this is just a little challenge. You know, we can do the arithmetic and we can convince some more Democrats and maybe even a few Republicans. This is a serious challenge. And one of the things that I like so much about our time yesterday with the president and the vice president of our country is that they had a spirit of realism, not optimism. Because when you do the simple math, it's hard to call it optimism. But realism says that there are still ways that we can get legislative action. Because if we can't, we have to ask, what happened to our democracy?
The only final comment.
I would say, Rose, one of the things that we continue to speak out about is reforming the filibuster. That we put that out there, and that's part of the message too. I mean, and it's not about. I don't know that we can convince 10 Republicans. Sixth president meeting.
The answer is no. Okay, I'm sorry. The answer is no.
That's fine. But I can tell you this, brother. You know it. We're not gonna sit on the sidelines. We got to keep pushing and fighting. It's like that's the bottom line. But
on the fight, get y'all press President Biden to put more pressure on Sinema and Manchin.
Okay, of course we did, Roland. Anybody that needs to be put pressure on, whether it's Democrat or Republican, we get that, right? So as I stated in the beginning, we put it out there. We told him that he needed to really pulpit. He is the head of the Democratic Party. So those two people are Democrats. So put the pressure on your friends and your foes. But also, I don't think we can just do it through the normal process of just sausage making, which is why it's important that we all do what we can to push and get the people. We need a movement about this. We need a real movement that will take place in this country, because at the end of the day, whatever we do, we won't get anything. We can get something short term if we're able to get some other kind of legislation passed. But if we don't have the ability in 2022 to pick the candidates of choice, we are in trouble for a decade and longer, because some of us have lived long enough to know that, right? So we know it's an uphill battle. And that's why it's like we need all hands on deck, and we got to support each other, and we got to raise the hell that needs to be raised with our friends and our foes.
Representative B. Cole, Norman Campbell, we sure appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland.
All right, now watch this.
Here's the deal. I need to see Biden putting pressure on Sinema and Manchin. He's not. When he spoke in Tulsa, he said 2 senators. He wouldn't even name them. We knew he was talking about, but he wouldn't name them. And so here's the dilemma that these legacy civil rights organizations are going to have, and Cliff and Latasha with Black Voice Matter have talked about it. You're going to come back to black folks and ask for more? What argument can be made that you got control of the House, you got control of the Senate, you control the White House, and you still can't get a voting bill passed.
Roland, I'm going to try to be as respectful as I can. I saw press conferences yesterday. I saw interviews with people that were in the meeting, and I thought, I know I'm 50 and I think my hearing is going out. So I thought I ain't hear what I heard, but I got earbuds on right now. Listen to them. So I respect the sister. I think we need less love vote, more Amistad slave revolt. First of all, I ain't hear anything about putting pressure on
pause it right there for a minute, Ed. Okay, in case you missed what I said. Okay. I said, I think we need less love vote and more Amistad slave revolt. Those are both ships, but the outcome are two entirely different outcomes. We need less love vote and more Amistad slave revolt. Okay, go back to the clip, Ed.
Expand this beyond just African Americans. This is people who don't vote for Democrats. This is young white people, white college students. This is Latinos. This ain't just a black thing. Dude, these people are, look, now we need a Bumpy Johnson of politics to take these people's heads off. Politically, not figurative, not literally, politically. We're not doing anything that's going to scare them. This is what I'm saying. So the other thing is we have to educate the masses. I was speaking in Atlanta for the Juneteenth Festival. I did 2 presentations. I'm speaking to, I talked to 50 people asking questions. How many votes does it take to get a bill passed in the House of Representatives? Everybody wants reparations, but 9 out of 10 people can't tell you how to realistically get reparations. Okay? So we have to, and lastly, I'll wrap up with this, brother, because this ain't my show, this is yours. June 1941. Executive Order 8802, President Franklin Roosevelt, with desegregated military jobs in the Department of Defense. He didn't do that out of the kindness of his own heart. He did that because A. Philip Randolph, president of the Brotherhood of Freedom Comporters, put his foot up his ass and threatened to put 100,000 African Americans marching on Washington to embarrass Roosevelt. After we voted for Roosevelt, see that's pressure. This stuff here, man, they ain't scared of none of this stuff. The other thing is one of the reasons why I think they're not talking about corporations. Unfortunately, I understand, they get donations from corporations, but the hell with that, man. Look, we need less love vote, more homicide.
The thing here.
Okay. Pause it right there. Ed. I was trying really hard not to cuss on Roland's show today, even though he cusses. I usually don't. I was trying really hard not to cuss. It'll take all of my restraint. Oh my God. It'll take all my restraint not to cuss. Cause I'm like, look, this ain't nobody scared of this. This is not even gonna scare Democrats. You think it's gonna scare Republicans? You're dealing with the white nationalist party. You're dealing with domestic terrorists in the white nationalist party. 147 of them in the House of Representatives voted not to certify the 2020 election. Okay. Now go watch the full whole interview and the whole panel discussion. This at Roland Martin Unfiltered on YouTube, and Roland Martin on YouTube and Roland Martin on Facebook. We'll post the link here as well. The pressure on corporations, and we'll talk about this some more on Sunday show, because we have 2 hours on Sunday. The pressure on corporations that we just saw like 2 or 3 months ago, when we saw pressure across the country to get corporations to speak out in opposition to these voter restriction bills that are taking place all across the country, right? Well, the corporations have been largely silent when it comes to these voter restriction bills that have actually been passing. Okay. And then what's going on in Texas and with the Texas state legislature and the Republicans trying to pass the voter restriction bill in Texas. They've been largely silent, and they've been silently starting to donate money to Republican candidates as well and things like this. Okay. So it's going to take a 50 state scorched earth effort. We have to engage in economic guerrilla warfare. This, I know many of them meant well, but I'm 50. I was looking at them. I think if I was in that meeting, I think I'd probably be the youngest person there. and I'm 50. Yeah, we need less love boat, more Amistad revolt, more Amistad slave revolt. Okay, this is all I'm saying. I know that. How should I put this? The two Democrats that are obstructionists are Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, and Kristen Sinema of Arizona. These are the two obstructionists. Now, HR 1, the For the People Act, and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, they both already passed the House of Representatives. They already passed the House. Democrats in the House did their job. You got two obstructionist senators, Democrats, in the Senate. No Republicans are going to vote for these bills in the Senate, period. So Joe Manchin has these grand illusions of white unity. That's basically what it is. He has these grand illusions of white unity. It's not African-American unity because it's only 3 black people in the entire U.S. Well, 2.5. It's 2.5 black people in the entire U.S. Senate. Why do I say 2.5? Because Senator Tim Scott, half the time, he doesn't act like it. And Senator Tim Scott ain't voting for none of this stuff. Black Tea Party Republican from South Carolina. He's not. Now he'll vote for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, depending upon what they come to agreement on, because he's negotiating that on behalf of Republicans. Okay, he'll vote for that. He did not vote for the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, even though there's $4 billion in loan and debt loan forgiveness that's going to help black farmers in South Carolina and other farmers in South Carolina, other farmers of color. He didn't vote for that. When it came time to so when you listen to the full interview, I'm not sure if Roland talked about it in that clip I just shared for the sake of time, but in that full interview he did with Janetta B. Cole and Melanie Campbell, he talked about Joe Manchin saying that he thinks 7 Republicans would vote for the People Act. Okay, dealing with voting rights in the Senate. Okay, when it came time to vote on proceeding to a debate on the For the People Act that just happened 2 or 3 weeks ago. Okay, I want people to really understand what I'm saying. The vote that took place 2 or 3 weeks ago, where no Republicans voted for it, after Joe Manchin said he thought he could get 7 to vote for it, but you need 10. 7 is not 10. 0 Republicans voted for it. It was not a vote on the actual bill. It was just a vote to proceed to a Senate floor debate on the bill. No Republican in the Senate. There are 50 Republicans in the Senate. None of them voted to even have a debate on the For the People Act. So so Kristen Sinema, who really makes dumb blondes look like Rhodes Scholars, as dumb as she is. I mean, oh my God, come on. She has no understanding of the history of the filibuster. This is what happens when you get dumbasses especially in the Senate. They can be more neutralized in the House of Representatives because there's 435 members in the House of Representatives. You got 100 in the Senate and you need 60 votes to get most bills passed in the Senate. So tremendous pressure has to be put on Manchin, especially in West Virginia. This is why what Reverend William Barber III is doing in West Virginia is so important. And the massive protest they have from people who live in West Virginia. Same thing has to happen in Arizona, but it has to be a massive uprising all across the country because Republicans are focused on taking back the House of Representatives in 2022 midterm election. They're focused on taking back the Senate and shutting all this stuff down. Then we won't be able to get any of these bills passed. You can get reparations go by then. In the Republic, look, go look at HR 40, go to congress.gov and look at HR 40. You have 190 sponsors 190 co-sponsors, 190 members of the House of Representatives have signed on to they've signed on to vote for and support H.R. 40. That's sponsored by Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat from Texas. No Republicans have signed on to H.R. 40 in the House of Representatives. No Republicans support H.R. 40. No Republicans in the House of Representatives support the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, because the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed the House of Representatives March 3rd, 2021 by a vote of 220 to 212. No Republicans voted for the bill. So you got 73-year-old white man Joe Manchin, who's the real Jim Crow Joe. Let's be clear. Joe Manchin is the real Jim Crow Joe. He has these grand illusions of white unity that don't exist in the Senate anymore. That stuff is gone. That stuff is gone. Okay. We'll talk more about this on Sunday show. I want to go to this great story here. This is dealing with Zaila Avant-garde, who won the 2021 Scripps Spelling Bee. And this is a brilliant 14-year-old sister. Let's go to clip 3 from NBC Nightly News. 14-year-old makes history as first African-American spelling bee champion.
This is what 14-year-old Zaila Avant-garde is famous for this week. We say this week because you're surely going to hear from her again. Zaila just became the first ever African-American champion of the Scripps National Spelling Bee. The winning word, Maria.
But this like the English name Murray, which should be the name of a comedian.
Bill Murray made the spelling bee. It's actually a type of tree.
Murria.
That is correct.
Perhaps fittingly, her next step may be on the hardwood. You see, Zaila says for her, spelling is just an hors d'oeuvre. Basketball's her main dish, with 3 Guinness World Records to her name, from dribbling to juggling. So what do you even call that? And it's good to have goals. Zaila sharing those this morning on Today.
Yeah, going to Harvard to play basketball and then maybe going to WNBA or overseas or something. Just like going to my next thing of like working at NASA or something like that. I'll be a basketball coach.
About that last name, her dad changed it to Avant-garde in honor of jazz musician John Coltrane. His daughter now on the fast train to SUCCESS.
Okay. Okay. Great story there. We're running out of time here. We're going to continue for those watching on Facebook and YouTube. Keep watching. We're going to keep going for a few more minutes. This is a brilliant sister. She holds 3 Guinness Book of World Records for dribbling multiple balls at a time. And she's in a commercial with Steph Curry, NBA great Steph Curry also. And she wants to go to Harvard University. Hopefully she'll choose a HBCU. She wants to go to Harvard University. And she wants to also play in the WNBA or also and possibly work at NASA as well. OK, she's 14 years old. Now, what's interesting is that she just started competitive spelling at the age of 12, 2 years ago. She's 14. She just started competitive spelling at the age of 12. All right. She said basketball. She said, I'm not playing it. I'm really trying to go somewhere with it. Basketball is what I do. So those watching, keep watching. We're going to keep going for a few more minutes. We're out of time here on 910 AM Superstation WFDF. We'll be back Sunday. Remember, right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you later. Peace. All right. Stand by, everybody. Let's keep going here. Also, if you'd like this type of information, you can support the African History Network, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, and then also through PayPal, paypal.me / the AHN Show, paypal.me / the AHN Show. We're here 6 days a week. This helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting, pay some of the bills, etc. So we're going to post a link here And then be sure to register for the online course that I teach on Sundays. We have a new class that started up Sunday, July 4th. Okay. So it meets 10 consecutive Sundays. Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, understanding the transatlantic slave trade, what they didn't teach you in school. We deal with thousands of years of history and what led up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. And I do a PowerPoint presentation. We have book references, articles, video clips, guest speakers. We do the class live. All the sessions are recorded. Okay. All the sessions are recorded. So when you register for the class, you can watch the archived content and you still have access to the course even after the course is over with. Okay. So this class meets Sundays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you go to our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, scroll down the homepage, you'll see information for the radio show. Right here, you see the information for the online course. Click right here to register here. It takes you to the next page and click on enroll. Okay. The class is regularly $130, on sale $80. As soon as you register, you can start watching class number 1. Then also you will also get, we'll also enroll you in the Saturday class that's wrapping up. We have one or two more sessions of the Saturday class, dealing with the same course content. And you can watch classes 1 through 9 of the Saturday class that is archived also. That includes the interview I did with Dr. David Imhotep, author of the book, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence. He spoke to my class on June 12th. Dr. David Imhotep, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence. And then also archaeologist Nubia Wartford spoke to my class as well. And she dealt with the origins of ancient Kush and the African queens of antiquity. Okay. But when we deal with the transatlantic slave trade, we can't start in slavery. We have to go back thousands of years and deal with ancient Africa, ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, Nubia, Ethiopia, deal with Ghana, Songhai, Mali, deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors. We're going to take the teachings from ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt into Europe. And these teachings are going to bring Europe out of the Dark Ages as well. And we're going to see what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. Okay, so this is a 10-week online course that I teach. You can watch from around the world. You can use this information with your children also. I would say the subject matter is PG-13. And we have the information right on our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can register there and also have the link here as well. Okay. All right. So we'll see you in class on Sunday. I want to go to this. I want to go to this interview that Zaila did on CBS this morning. She did this interview today, so we'll get that queued up for you. So this is a brilliant young sister. She's the epitome of Black girl magic. The online course is on sale $80, regularly $130. And then you still have access to the course even after the course is over. So next year you can still go back and watch the full course. You still have access to the course. I want to go to this interview here that she did. She's a brilliant sister, and to see her with the basketballs as well. I mean, she's going to be a phenom in the WNBA. All right, let me cue this clip up just a second. Okay, here we go.
My talk at the table is about a truly remarkable young lady. Zaila Avant-garde of New Orleans is the champion. CHAMPION. I don't even have to look at the prompter. Yeah, I don't even have to look at the prompter of the 2021 Scripps National Spelling Bee. Take a look at the moment she won. Maria.
Does this word contain like the English name Murray, which could be the name of a comedian, or just the English name in general?
I don't see that here. Bill Murray made the spelling bee.
Maria. Murraya.
That is correct.
Avant-garde is the first African-American winner in the competition's 96-year history, and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden was there to witness it. Spelling isn't Avant-garde's only talent, guys. The 14-year-old is a basketball prodigy. She is one of the top 8th grade basketball prospects in the country.
Look at that.
I know. And wait, there's more. She holds 3 Guinness World Records for her dribbling skills. And guess what? She's joining us now.
Awesome.
Good morning and congratulations.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, Zaila. So you hope to attend Harvard. You want to play in the WNBA. You want to maybe coach one day in the NBA. And that's if you don't go to work for NASA. So you have all of these hopes and aspirations. Winning the spelling bee, what did that feel like?
It felt like really good. It's like a kind of like a dream come true because I've been working towards that goal for like 2 years. And so to finally have it, it's like the best possible outcome because it couldn't have gone any better. And I got to make a joke on my winning word.
You did indeed. And, you know, we saw you celebrate when you won, but how'd you celebrate afterwards?
So the first, generally, it probably would have taken, it kind of took restraints to hold me down for a while, but then I had to chase my baby brother around. He tried to break the car window with a rock. And so I spent a lot of time in the parking lot chasing my baby brother. I was chasing him around, trying to stop him from kicking a soccer ball everywhere.
Were you successful?
I kind of was a little less energetic after that.
Just a typical 14-year-old.
Well, consider it a tie. Yeah, it was a tie. But generally now I'm feeling really great and I plan on having lots of fun.
Well, you had a lot of fun on stage. You did a little twirl. You want to do a twirl for us this morning?
I think I'll
put her on the spot. Are you stuck there? I have to ask, were you nervous? And how does it feel to make history as the first African-American champion?
First off, I wasn't nervous, and it felt really great to be the first African-American champion because it's just almost 100 years of no African-Americans. It's not too surprising or anything, but it's still kind of sad and stuff for there not to be any African-American winners, but it feels good.
Hey, Zaila, it's Tony DeCopel. I'm always curious why people love the things they love. And what is it about spelling that made you practice 7 hours a day and become a champion in it?
I really love word roots and stuff, and I love moments like when I got the word ancestroid, where I knew immediately what it meant and stuff, because I like having roots and stuff makes it kind of like a behind the back pass in basketball. It's kind of like asking roots, but it's also like a behind the back pass that you've got to make, because like if you there are a lot of words that like if you don't know the roots, like a word like phylloxera, which is a word somebody, I believe Bhavna Medini, phylloxera, Phylloxera. I believe Bhavna Medini got that word, and like it sounds really difficult, but if you like study and know the roots, and it's really easy. So just knowing roots is really helpful in spelling, and I love that part of it.
Well, we appreciate you being on, even though I misspelled ludicrous on air the other day.
Tony needs to go to spelling.
Jamie, please take the break.
Zaila Avant-garde, thank you so much. I cannot wait to see what you do in life.
Okay. All right. So that was from CBS this morning from Friday, July 9th, 2021. BlackAmericaWeb.com has a really good article also dealing with Zaila Avant-garde. So her father gave her the last name Avant-garde in honor of John Coltrane. Okay, the jazz musician John Coltrane. I want to try to pull up this article here from BlackAmericaWeb.com. African American Spelling Bee champ makes history with flair. Now I posted this article also on our fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. Now we all remember the movie Aquila and the Bee, right? Aquila and the Bee, starring Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer tweeted, and I'm going to pull this up here. Keke Palmer tweeted today that Zaila is the real Aquila and the Bee. And we remember that movie was about a spelling bee competition that Aquila was in. I think that was Keke Palmer's first movie. I know it was one of her first movies. We look at Blavity has an article about this, and it has the tweet in here also. We're going to go to that quickly. Let me pull that up here. But this is a brilliant sister. And we talked about this on Roland Martin Unfiltered today. And I said that all of our children are geniuses. All of our children have that potential that she has. They just need the right teachers and the right coaches and love, etc., to bring that out of them. So Keke Palmer praises Zaila Avant-garde as the real Aquila, If we go to this tweet here, Keke Palmer tweeted, Louisiana teen becomes the first African-American contestant to win the National Spelling Bee. She tweeted the article. And Keke Palmer wrote, the real Aquila, you guys. Yeah, let me see if we can go to the actual tweet. It was on Instagram. Okay. Let's go this here. We'll pull up my Instagram account and look at this just 1 second. Okay. Louisiana teen becomes the first African-American contestant to win National Spelling Bee. So Keke Palmer tweeted, she posted this article here. She did this post on Instagram. And she said, the real life Aquila, you guys, I'm so happy in my heart. A couple of weeks ago, I sent in a video encouraging all of the contestants. And for this to happen just feels so spiritual. I am so happy. Major love to Doug Atkinson that allowed me to act a dream. And thank God for letting me live to see it come to fruition. Okay. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Y'all know the rest. Okay. That's from Aquila and the Bee. So great story here. I want to go to there's an article from Black America Web. I'm going to try to pull that up quickly before we get out of here. I posted it on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, and my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, also. So let's look at this. They talked about some history. I think this was the one it dealt with some history in here, but it also talked about the fact that Zaila knew that if she won, she would be the first African American to win the competition. All right. We've got that. So let's close this out. So she won spelling the word Murray, Murray, and is a type of tropical Asiatic and Australian tree. And we have this right here. Let me see. Is that second paragraph? Yeah, right here, Murray. Okay. But some very important history here. Zaila knew she would be the first African-American winner of the Bee. She knew Black kids around the country were watching Thursday night's ESPN2 telecast, waiting to be inspired and hoping to follow in the footsteps of someone who looked like them. She even thought of Magnolia Cox, C-O-X. And in one of the interviews that she did, I think it was the one with ABC News, because I watched a few interviews that she did. She talked about Magnolia Cox in that interview. Magnolia Cox was an African-American female who in 1936 became the first African-American finalist at the Spelling Bee, and was not allowed to stay in the same hotel as the rest of the spellers because of segregation, Jim Crow laws in 1936. But Zaila never let the moment become too big for her. And when she heard what turned out to be the winning word, Maria, she beamed with confidence. It was over. Okay. So she's only been spelling competitively since the age of 12. Okay. Now she has a coach. She spends 7 hours a day training as well. Talk about dedication. So many of the top Scripps spellers start competing as young as kindergarten. But Zaila only started a few years ago after her father, Jarara Spacetime, watched the Spelling Bee on TV and realized his daughter's affinity for doing complicated math in her head could translate well into spelling. Okay. He realized his daughter's affinity for doing complicated math in her head could translate well to spelling. She progressed quickly enough to make it to the nationals in 2019, but bowed out in the preliminary rounds. That's when she started to take it more seriously and began working with a private coach, Cole Schaefer Ray, a 20-year-old Yale University student, and the 2015 Scripps runner-up. Cole Schaefer Ray, her coach, said usually to be as good as Zaila, you have to be well connected in the spelling community. You have to be doing it for many years. It was like a mystery, like, is this person even real? Now, Cole Schaefer Ray quickly realized his pupils' extraordinary gifts. He said she really just had a much different approach than any speller I've ever seen. She basically knew the definition of every word that we did, like pretty much verbatim. Quote, she knew not just the word, but the story behind the word origin. Okay. The etymology of the word, the story behind the word. And she also is really good with, the roots of words, the Greek, Latin roots, French roots, things like this. She knew not just the word, but the story behind the word, why every letter had to be that letter and could not be anything else. Sometimes she knew more than she let on. Part of her strategy, she said, was to ask about roots that were not part of the word she was given, just to eliminate them from consideration. Only one word gave her trouble, Nepeta, which is a genus of mints, or a type of mints, and Nepeta. And she jumped even higher when she got that one right than she did when she took the trophy. She talked about Nepeta in the interview with ABC News, I think. I also watched the interview she did with the Black News Channel today as well. So I think it was actually the interview with the Black News Channel. She talked about Nepeta, but she said, I've always struggled with that word. Okay. She said, I've heard it a lot of times. She said, I've heard it a lot of times. I don't know. There's just there's just some words. For a speller, I just get them and I can't get them right. I even knew it was a genus of plants. I know what you are and I can't get you. Now, her dad gave her the last name Avant-garde in tribute to jazz musician John Coltrane. Is a singular champion of a most unusual bee, the first in more than 25 months. Okay, and Zaila, this is the first spelling bee in more than 25 months because of COVID-19. Last year's bee was canceled because of the coronavirus, and this one was thoroughly modified to minimize risk to children and their families. So read the rest of this article here from blackamericaweb.com. African American spelling bee champ makes history with flair. Then there was a really extensive article from NOLA.com because she's from Louisiana. There's really a really good one from NOLA.com. Also, let me pull that one up here. Yeah. This one right here that I showed earlier. Louisiana teen is more than a spelling bee finalist. She's a 3-time world record holder. Louisiana teen is more than a spelling bee finalist. She's a 3-time world record holder. So she holds 3 Guinness Book of World Records for dribbling multiple basketballs at a time. So the 14-year-old from Harvey, Louisiana, has earned more recognition from her athletic prowess than her achievements in spelling. She is a basketball prodigy who has appeared in a commercial with Stephen Curry and owns 3 Guinness World Records for dribbling multiple balls simultaneously. Multiple balls, not just basketballs, multiple balls simultaneously. She has more than 12,000 Instagram followers, where videos of her dazzling skills have won praise from musician Michael Franti, among others. And she hopes to attend Harvard University. Hopefully she'll go to an HBCU. She also wants to play in the NBA and possibly coach one day. She wants to play in the WNBA and possibly coach one day in the NBA. Okay. If she doesn't go to work for NASA. Competitive spelling came relatively late in her life. She started at age 12. Okay. So read the rest of this article, also from NOLA.com, NOLA, NOLA.com. Louisiana teen is more than a spelling bee finalist. She's a 3-time world record holder. Okay, great story there. All right. If you like this type of information, you can support the African History Network, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN Show. This helps us keep doing the research and stay on the air, keep broadcasting. Pay some of the bills, etc. We're here 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, and then Sundays we're here 2 hours, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Sundays. And this is, let me scroll down to this. This is our official Cash App account, $ the AHN Show, SHOW. You see the picture there, and it shows my name and shows my picture there. These other ones here, these are fake African History Network Cash App accounts. Our Cash App tag is actually $ the AHN Show, SHOW. Then also be sure to register for the online course, the new online course that I teach on Sundays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it just started up Sunday, July 4th. As soon as you register, you can watch the class from Sunday, July 4th. We did like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So go to our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, scroll down the page. You'll see the information for the online course. You'll see the flyer here. So it meets Sundays, 10 consecutive Sundays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can watch from around the world. Okay, click right here to register here. The class is on sale, $80, regularly $130. Click here to enroll. As soon as you register, you can start watching course content. You can watch class number 1. We'll also enroll you in the Saturday class that's wrapping up. We have like 1 or 2 more sessions of the Saturday class. And with the Saturday class, as soon as you register, you can watch classes 1 through 9 of the Saturday class. Okay. And you'll also be enrolled in our Sunday class that meets 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So class number 2 is going to be Sunday, July 11th. As a bonus, you'll get a digital download of the Juneteenth lecture I did on June 16th, 2021. It's a 2.5 hour lecture I did dealing with the real history of Juneteenth. You get that in digital download format also. All right, we have to get out of here. Remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world. Because right now, it's corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Be sure to follow us on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. Remember, right now, it's corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.
Black on Purpose Television Network. Yes, Black on Purpose Television Network. All black, all positive, all the time. The largest black-owned streaming television network in the world. Bringing our people together worldwide. Controlling our messages, our story, our way. Black TV the way it should be. Black music, Black history, and more. 30+ channels, thousands of shows. Black on Purpose Television Network. Subscribe now.
Gain knowledge in minutes from insightful summaries of progressive and socially conscious books. Blacklisted gives you access to curated content that'll satisfy your curiosity to learn and understand different perspectives. Empower yourself through inspirational and actionable ideas. It's easy to read or listen to on the go. Blacklisted. Empower yourself. Start your free trial today.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting, LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365 and Surface tablets, Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-8255.